Hi everybody, welcome to Jana's Crochet Journey. Today is June 9th. It's Monday. Yay! Welcome everybody who is new, returning, and future. Little allergies going on, good Lord. So, I know it's been a little bit, so I figured while I had the chance, I would get on here and show you what I've been hooking on. So, I've been doing 3 different things, kind of alternating when I needed a break from something. And then looking up different patterns because I want to start making little amigurumi type of things, or like little snugglers for Christmas for the littles. And speaking of littles, I mentioned that my youngest son and his wife are due for another grandson for me, their first, at the end of the month, and that because of the baby's size, they were thinking to have her go in early. Well, as we speak, today they are at the hospital. They are in Texas because he is stationed in the Air Force. And she is getting induced this morning. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I know she's going to do great, but it is scary being the first for both of them. But hopefully by the end of the day, I will have another grandson. So that's exciting. So, to get on to why most of you are here is the crochet. So, I was asked if I could make a 3D granny square blanket. And I saw some different patterns and they really look cool in the 3D. As I'm working on mine, I'm like, does it really look 3D? But I know it probably needs the effect of more squares together than just me working on them individual. So I did make one square complete because in order to get the effect, they want you to use white, a light gray, a darker gray, and then black. Like, they don't want you to change those 4 colors. And then the next 3 colors are in the same family color. So blue was chosen. And then it said you could add more colors if you wanted to make them bigger. Like a queen size, once they're put together with the border, was like 36 squares. This blanket will be used more like in the living room, in a chair. So I'm saying 25 squares right now, and that's what I have been doing, and I'm doing them in an assembly line. Like I did all the whites, which I am using Big Twist. I know I should put that stuff in a safe and hang on to it forever, but Big Twist white, and then I'm doing soft gray. Then I had medium gray, and then believe it or not, I can't find it, like black. I don't know if it's in my storage. So I went to Walmart and got their mainstay black. So in assembly line fashion, I did my 25 squares with these 4 colors first. And then I picked all the blue shades that I had and showed my fiance because he's the one that wanted the blanket. And he chose like the colors that called his name, I guess we'll say. So then the next one is Big Twist again, Varsity Blue. And then Premier Basics Azure, Azure. And the color that I'm working on now is Big Twist Denim Blue. And I have one attached, so that's why that looks the way it does. And no, I haven't woven in my tails yet. And then before I attach them, I will weave in my ends. I'm going to attach them using Sky Blue. So it's the mitered granny to get the 3D look. And the pattern I paid for is 3D Optical Illusion Blanket Pattern. The skill level is intermediate to advanced, and it was on Instagram by Highway Catcher. Oh my goodness, I spelled that wrong. But so this is the pattern, and she had different color schemes, but this was her purple. And then if you look online, you can see it in different blues, greens, I think. So based on that picture of the blues is how we picked our blues. So I'm hoping it comes out good. There's also like videos if you're stuck, like how to weave in your ends. And I've never done join as you go, so that's something I will probably have to watch a video on. I'm just looking to see if there's any more pictures I can share with you, but no. Okay, so Instagram, Highway Catcher is her name. All right, that's got to go back upstairs. I am using a 4.5 millimeter hook, following the pattern, even though everything in me said to do a 5 or a 6, but I'm not going to. Worst case, I will just make more squares if I feel like it's not big enough. The yarn is a 4-weight, and this is a completed square up until the light blue. And they have it like this. So they'll go 5 by 5 with the light blue attaching it. And I think it's also the border. And hopefully it'll be that 3D look. I did do one, and then my cat's nail caught on it, so I had to scrap this one. That's probably garbage, let's be real. I did do one complete with the colors going different. I think I had these two, this one, and I think there was a different blue one. I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. Like, I'm like, no, it was so, the colors were just so close that it was like, is it really light to dark? So we changed things up because I was like stressing over it. So anyways, so this is a complete one. I'm working on the last color. Then I will be watching the join as you go and putting the border on, and then this will be done. Not that we're going into a season where we're going to want to cover up with a blanket, but I am just happy that he asked for me to make one because he liked how it looked. Because, as I said before, for some reason, maybe because we're in the same house or whatever, but crochet suggestions and prints and patterns and yarn pop up on his phone. So when he saw that, he was like, oh, that's cool. All right, so that's what I'm working on. And that's real easy to watch TV and whip those out. Sometimes I start going around the third corner and it's like, whoa, you got to back up and get back the other direction. But once I look at it, I realize I have to correct it. All right, so then I decided I wanted to make a loaf cat because I've had a pattern by Red Spotted Cat by Unique Crochet Studio. And I was reading through it and I was second guessing myself on if I could follow this pattern, even though she gives you little QR codes if you're struggling, and she has you mark the ears like very detailed. Like, I don't know, I will try this one, but I know that some of the ladies that I watch, like Lisa from Happy to Hook and Rose from Rose Likes Crochet, whip these things out like nothing. So I'm like, and I know I'm like them. You give me too many pieces, it's not happening. So in YouTube, I typed in Loaf Cat, and also a young lady came up that I watch when I can play catch up, is Ella from No Catchy Name. She actually did a tutorial. So I watched her tutorial, took my notes, and she actually uses the Bernat blanket with this, I think she uses a 7mm. Don't quote me, just go watch the video. So I used Bernat blanket in little sandcastles so that it was neutral. And I don't know what happened, but the feet are kind of closer together than I think they should be, or at least they're closer together than some of the other loaf cats that I saw. So I might try the other pattern, or look on Rose's video and see who she uses. And then the tail is different on the other ones. So this one has like a little corkscrew tail. So here's my cat. See, here's the tail. It doesn't stick straight up like the other loaf cats. And see the feet? The back feet are definitely closer together than the front. But I think when I look at other videos, they might be out a little bit more. But it could be me. I mean, I had the right number of stitches. So the safety eyes, the ears. I was just going to put the X for the nose, but then I decided, well, if you're doing it, do it right 100%. Put the whiskers on. Whether I do it again in the future, I don't know. I don't think it looks too bad. But there's my loaf cat. And this will probably be saved towards Christmas gifts, or I don't know, or because I know that I messed it up, I might just put it on my shelf. But there's my loaf cat, Ella from No Catchy Name. If you've made a loaf cat and you found a simpler pattern, I feel like this is bigger than what Rose and Lisa get. I question myself if I try to increase or decrease a pattern, so I wanted to follow it right to the T the first time, and then we'll figure it out. But I would like to make some more. I'm also actually thinking of opening an Etsy shop so that I can try to start selling some of my makes and some yarn that I am not going to be in need of, just to try to start downsizing a little bit. But we'll see. All right, and then the last thing I started making is I bought a bunch of patterns off of Etsy for snugglers, and I showed that ragdoll book. But I think most of those are 4-weight, and I wanted to use soft yarn. So I have Premier Retro Velvet, which I had to special buy because I don't have any more velvet. I don't know where the heck it's all gone, unless it's in storage. But this is a 5 bulky. This is the color Mist, and I have white, and then I have like a solid dark pink and green. So I wanted to make some snuggler dolls. Again, I don't know if I can make the rag dolls out of my book with the 5-weight. When it says the patterns for a 4, I know they'll come out bigger. I'm not one to, like I said, downsize a pattern. But anyways, I used the crochet pattern Bear Snuggler, and I cannot find anywhere at this moment who the author is, but it was on Etsy. I need to go back into my pattern downloads on my computer and see where I got the pattern from so I could give them proper recognition. So I just did the head. I just finished the head this morning. So I will show you what I have so far. And again, like I have green and a darker red. I could also do white to like kind of make it, favored in the gender. So this is, pretty easy so far. I want to try to do different ones for Christmas for each grand so that they don't all end up with the same thing but different color, but we'll see. I feel like this is smaller than what I expected, but I still have to do the ears. But this is the head. And I did blue safety eyes. I have a bunch of noses, so I was super happy to find a pattern that I could use the noses for. So that's the back. And with this retro yarn, because it is like a velvet, you can get those little wormy pop-ups. So when I do a stitch, I'll pull it a little tight so that they're not loose and like sticking up a little bit. So I don't know, I feel like it's a donut instead of round. Maybe it's just the way I mushed it. But there's my first head. And so soft. And that's the whole point of having a snuggler or a rag doll, is to be able to snuggle with it. My son told me my granddaughter loves to play with the blanket that I made her when I had velvet cakes, which I do have some Bernat velvet stripes left. Still waiting to see what my last grandchild is, due the beginning of September. So I'm thinking though to start making a blanket out of that, and if in the end I don't need the purples, I'll just put it aside. But the next part in this pattern, after the head, is to make the legs and the body. I might go ahead and make the ears and just attach them so that it looks like till that part's finished. But yeah, that's what I've been working on in the 3 weeks maybe since I've been on here. I am excited to like have new projects, and then once this granny square 3D blanket is done, I either want to start another baby size blanket or keep going with the snugglers. Maybe I can whip things out a little faster because I haven't found anything else to inspire me to crochet yet. And we've had some really nice days. Today's gloomy and it's going to be rainy this week and blah. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your day to come see what I've been up to. I love chit-chatting in the comments and seeing the familiar names that hang around and put up with the fact that I don't have the time to get on every week, because if I don't have a lot of time to crochet, there's nothing to show. I have thought about trying my hand at a live one of these days just to maybe crochet and chat, but then if you don't get a lot of people to show up, like that's kind of awkward too. And I know that so many people do lives, people overlap each other, or do a crochet and chat video if I have a lot to talk about. I don't know. I like to watch those sometimes because then I crochet along with my friends and just listen. But y'all can let me know what you think and see what happens in the future. You just never know. All right, everybody, please like, subscribe, share if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.